All right, welcome everybody. We have a special broadcast, Thursday broadcast. It is an A1 adventure. We've got oops. We've got a A1 matchup for us. It's the top of A1 division. Before the series started, it was number 1, number 2, number 3, and like number 6, something like that. And now it's 1, 2, 4, and 6. Botti, Barry, David, Max duking it out here tonight. And it is Botti opening us up as the dealer, David to the right, Max across the table, and Barry on our left. These players have been absolutely dominating in A1, and I cannot wait to see what happens in these final two games. To join me for the series is Korak.
Hello. Well, we can see here Botsy's in some trouble because this is an Otozuke Chun, and we see two of them on our right. There is a Ricci across the way. Ricci door 1, 4-7, so. Now, the interesting thing is this might actually cause the Chun to come out from David's hand. This is Tempai now. Otozuke on the Chun. Chun would deal in now.
Dave's playing this really cautiously. Oh, but the 5-pin Kanchan Tsumo, the last 5-pin comes into the hand of Barry, and he's going to shut it all down.
Yeah, that is an awkward shape, but it is a 4-4-4 plus 4-6.
And I
So only
imagine
wins in the 5, but we'll get the win there. David going to be here with a double East pair.
we're going to see fighting Mahjong from all throughout this series. No one's going to give up so easily.
Everyone at this table I describe as more of a fighter than a folder.
Hmm.
But you hear as the double E's probably just call and go. There isn't too much value. The 8-pin door is going to be hard to use because you have two 9s, but if you use the 8, that means you now have a Dora indicator penchant, which is never great. On the right, we have a Chun pair. Similarly, maybe call and go looks pretty fast across the way. Maybe just a Ricci Nomi will want to fill with that 8-pin. It'd really help. We see 3 still on the wall, so maybe a Ricci +1. And on the left, that feels Chitoi, especially when you see that So shape.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate set of Sotas. But if you pair up the 8-pin, you're suddenly feeling really happy about your chances. And all of the 8-pin door are in the wall, except for that one held currently by bot team.
Dealer now 2 Shun, 10 still looking for that East. 5 connects across the way for Barry. We'll cut the 3 now. That is also a Shun 10, potential 8-pin, and then need the 6-pin 9-mon Champon. And oh, we see the 7 being cut there on the left. I don't like it.
Yeah, 668, so not necessarily the strongest shape, but this is really committal from David, so we'll see if that East comes out
Oh,
anytime soon.
David doesn't have a reason not to, as far as I'm concerned. There you see our opponent on the right. Now Tempai 258. That is probably the win, and there it is. Max will get the cheap win here, but plus 1,000 will jump into a tie for second place, and will be dealer here in East 3.
Ooh,
Oh, that's your Kogashi. It looks really good from here.
5 non-Kokushi tiles in that hand. Already a pair, so it's not amazing.
Uh, yeah, it's very mediocre. I feel like I go Tuso. I don't hate that he's tanking this. Yeah, this is the. Do I have to go Kokushi? The answer is I kind of have to hold on to it for a bit. Ew. And yeah, just cuts the 1. I hate that 7 draw. You're almost hoping to pull in the Chun and go Dorotanki here. Everything's terrible. What do we think about 3-pin instead of the 1-1 cut?
It's another hedgy hand. I think once he got his second shape, he decided he was just going to play for for a normal hand, but I could see it
Oh,
as your biggest
North
hedge.
draw, very sad. All right, on the right we have Chitoi, maybe even Shinetsu, but likely Chitoi across the way. 4, 5, 6, 7 in Pinzu. Also has a 1, 2, 3, 3, 6, a double floater in Sozu. Not too much value though. On the left we have a Hatsu pair, may just be Pon and Go. 5-mon pair up on the right. Now Ishanten for that Chitoi. See the 1 connects with the 3 here, so Max very likely planning to pull in the last Chun and go to Artanki on this, because the rest of the shapes are terrible. I just chi this, but it will not get a chance. It's going to be pwned by Barry. Doesn't want to stall around here, going for Toy Toy Nomi. Well, there's the Chun. We'll hold it, hoping it's going to pair up, but we know that is impossible. All 4 are accounted for.
Yeah, Barry definitely had the weakest like some super weak shapes, and so Toy Toy seems like the maybe the best out.
Well, I'm never going to complain about a person hating Chi Toy because that was really the only other route. Across the way, might be able to move towards a Tanya if you get a Forso shift, but everything's a little awkward. And now we have that Toy Toy ready. 8-pin one so. And there's the one so, and I believe that's the expensive end enough to push it to 40 Fu, gets the 2600. Barry off that win, extends his lead, and has a much better starting end here. Possible Honitsu, very distant Daisangen slash Shosangen, and oh, the 5's an annoying draw. I just cut the pay. We'll cut the 7. This is much more of a Honitsu hedge. Because a 4 and a 7 are both very good floaters, and the pay doesn't have much intrinsic value. But if you're saying, hey, I want to go Horetsu, then the pay can always be paired up. On the right, feels very Pinfu. Nothing fancy there. Does have a Dora, though. Across the way, West pair, maybe call and go. Would love to go Honitsu with it. And on the left, feels kind of Pinfu. We do have that overlap on the 4 pin with the 2, 3, 3, 5. I think I just like dealer's hand the most right now.
Yeah, definitely the callability gives it a lot of promise. Demo across the table, David might be trying to force a flush. He gets greedy for flushes every now and then.
Ooh, 5's a great fill there for Batty.
I don't know if this Tanya for Max is going to get there ahead of whatever David can put together. It's so could consider the chi if you're trying to force a flush, but no, it's going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I feel if you're playing that way, you just need to go for it. And I just don't know that you have time for it. Plus, your pawn's going to really look like when you go for that Honitsu question, you need to look at the rest of your shapes. How far are you? And this is the problem: is now you have a Tenpai with 2 Dora, you're very likely to deal into.
Bati really doesn't want to touch this 5. 2-5 mon looks
Well,
really
that is
bad.
correct. Ooh, could switch here, but I don't think you do.
I,
There's an armored switch to the Shampon, but I like just keeping it. Oh, there's the 5.
if
And
you
will not throw it yet.
Yeah, if you're worried enough about the flush, maybe you don't discard the 5 still there, but I don't think there's enough reason to start to play too cautiously just yet.
Well, that is Ishan 10 across the way and Tempai on our left. Oh no! The backfire! Could have taken the Shampoo, would have had the Dora Mongon. Instead, they're going to see a Chi and a deal in, so at least get the 39 from it. Nice stand there. Max will close the gap, I believe, and take over first. Yes, because it was a direct hit. Wabatsu's going to be dealer here. Maybe a Chanta type hand. Junchan. 1-1-2-2 on a 1-1 so pair. I think you just play normally. 3-pin would be a really nice draw for this hand, though, especially when you get 2 of them. On the right, Pinfu. Also potential Junchan if you could draw 1 so a couple times, but when dealer has 2 of them, that's very hard. Across the way, I think you go Honitsu. Also feels kind of Chantish, and that 6-pawn cut definitely feels like it. I want to go Chanta, so I'm noticing a theme here. But on the left does not look like a Chanta hand. May just be the South call and go.
And my mind's still on that previous hand where I honestly think Barry, after seeing that door come up, that oh, the chances are that it's 3 Han here is probably pretty minimal. We'll just call one for it.
Oh, 5 fills in nicely, goes and cuts the other 1. Now Ishan 10. You see the 8 is passed by Barry. Says, okay, I'll just draw myself.
But looking for a Ricci here. 5 mo would be ideal draw.
4-pin across the way. Ugh, the value's just dying. That is a miserable draw. Of course, you can't accept the 2-pin door. I guess you take... Oh, Sonanko? I guess there's no real route to it. 2 on the left. Now headless Ishan 10. There's a 1
That's
pin. Could have been used. Oh, there's dealer Tempai. Ricci Dora 2 waiting on the 7. This is the classic. This is why you don't trust Ricci Suji. this exact shape with a 4-6-8, you're always going to reach you on the 4 unless there's some sort of bonus, say a red 5. But of course, we use WRC rules generally, which do not use red 5s. Oh, and another
Oh,
Dora. Can't be used by anyone though, so will be safely moved on.
yeah, 2 7-mon left in the wall.
Oh, and there's the Dora. That's going to be cheat, but not going to commit to this. Would be a K10 play. This is also not Tempai if it's called, but it would give a route to a 3-4-5 Sanju. Could Chi cut 8 so?
Chi.
Ah, and that is it. Sees the exact thing. Oh, and the backfire gets the 5 instead of the 7. There is one less 7 out, but just generally the 5s are going to be more used. So I think that that is the right play. Oh, and again! Gets another 5 mod, and now it's just sadness everywhere.
Brutal.
Tsumo.
Oh, there it
Oh,
is.
doesn't matter. Just Sumo. Easy game.
Third time's the charm.
Tsumo, Dora 2. No Ura would be Mongon even without Kariage, but that is on. So nice little pickup there for Bots. He jumps into first place and knocks everyone else under 30k. Dealer here has a kind of a Pinfu hand, maybe some sort of 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku. Anytime I say the words 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku, I expect a reaction.
Yep, guaranteed win.
On the right, we have a Chun pair, not too much. Oh, that Tuso is a great pull in. That is now Ishan 10, but the shapes aren't great because it's pair, pair, pair. So Anko 1 up, or even call the Chun potentially. Ooh, there's a nice draw with the Dora. Could even move this towards Itsu. Across the way, whole bunch of pin tiles, and that is Ishan 10 for Richi, Pinfu, Itsu, Dora 2. Speaking of Itsu, we see the 4-so drawn on the right. Now needs a 9. And on the left, maybe a 79 Sanshoku's the plan.
Beach.
Oh,
Well, doesn't get the Itsu, but will gladly take Richi Pinfu Dora 2, 4, 7, 1. We see 1 out and 2 in hand, so 5 left. Great weight.
Pati trying.
Oh,
Oh,
just get
four.
Ipatsu. Easy game. Richi Ipatsu Pinfu Dora 2. Any Ura would be Hanemon. Doesn't get it, but Max will definitely take that as a nice little win into first place by 300. I see Bati with 2 dragon pairs, calls one of them right off the bat. And dealer here with a Pinfu type hand. Nothing fancy here. 79 Sanshoku is the idea, but it's going to be hard to pull off. Need 2 7s and a 9. On the right, we see maybe a Honitsu hand. It's hard to get any value out of that. You have the 5 6 so, so maybe not, but I'm not thrilled. Then across the way, maybe 1 2 3 or 2 3 4 Sanshoku. And as mentioned on the left, we have Double Dragon.
Gee.
So ideally, you draw Haku, and then the hand gets really interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna
And
be.
as I say that too, Haku immediately come out.
We do have a Tempai on the left of Bati. It's not strong, just the 5-mon, only 1 Han, but that can be easily
So
swapped around.
Yeah, the plan here is call the tune, cut the 6-4, and then hope to draw the last Haku and win on the last time. Oh, there it is. But may not even get that far because the 3 may come out.
No.
And it does. Do you ever pass that?
I wouldn't, but I know, like, you don't even need the Haku. You can just play for any type of Chanta with a terminal or honor tile.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much value, but at the same time, it's 2,000. You're in first. It's South 2. And East 2, I 100% pass that. In South 2, I'd probably tank my whole timer and take it and be very sad about it. But it's always worth considering. Well, Max's dealer here, looking for the Itsu and Pinzu, has 2 completed runs already. On the right, we have a few pairs, 1 so, 7 so east, and Adora does the overlap between Pinzu with the 2, 3, 5, 6. Across the way, definitely looks Pinfu, but 3 Kanchans, or the 2 Kanchans and a Penchan. And on the left, Richi Nomi, Richi Dora 1 probably. Needs a 4-pin badly. The problem is the others drew a second one, and one of them is door indicator, and the last one's across the way. So it's going to be really hard for David to finish the hand.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the dealer and thinking, how can you beat this? Pay Tonki, no longer a viable strategy. It is Tempai, but
Tenpai on the 4-pin door indicator. Good luck with that one.
Oh, that's not good either.
Oh, that's a disgusting weight. We'll switch to it here.
There's so many good draws here for Max. What will he get? That's not
No, I
amazing.
don't think that's any better. So what do you think about cutting 8, 9 pin there?
I was definitely thinking about it. It's certainly worse, I feel, but how long can you wait? If only pay wasn't
Well,
thrice cut.
won't just take it here. Two's good enough. Wait, no, it's
No, it's
2
not.
out.
Three out
Yeah,
even.
it's 1, 2,
Toyman and Kami both have one as
3.
well.
Yeah, that's right. I see one across now. It is completely dead.
That's 7 out.
7 does nothing. There's 1 8 out. Yeah, I figured the switch would happen, but still not going to reach it. This really wants a 6 pin.
It's incredible to me that this hand hasn't gotten a better tempai in these 5
Even
draws.
even a Nobeton would be acceptable here.
Nobiton, Adiamen, some Tonki, like any good Tonki. We just haven't seen. Okay, that's
Well, that's
2d10.
310. So okay, so you did ask for 1. He did give you
Okay, 6 months.
what
6
you
months. Play
asked
for
for.
Sanchoku.
He says, "Screw this. I'm taking it. I'm done." This is a Ricci Dora 1 on 8 Sotonki.
Yeah, you're feeling like at this point you might as well have just taken the 7-pin Ricci. At least that was Suji Trap.
Might go for... Okay, throws the 8 here. That's definitely a fold. Oh!
Oh!
The 410 Ricci was the answer.
Apparently for Ippatsumo.
Would be Mongon right there, and you can't expect that, but it's always funny.
Yeah, this has been a pretty tilting hand. If I was Max, I would need to... I'd spend this time just like not looking at the game and taking a breather.
Oh, there's the 8. It doesn't look that bad, and
Yeah,
it does come out.
okay.
Barry says, I have a route back into this hand, and not if you deal end. Oh, and the aura really stings.
Mmm.
Max out to 45,000. A huge first here. Potential 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku. On the right, we have a South pair.
My bad.
Now, you were on the right place the first time. Barry has that South pair. It's important because it's a double pair in the South seed. The problem is the other two are across the way. So I think these two are going to end up pair blocking each other. And on the left, it's a Pinfu, but a pretty bad one. I feel Dealer has the best position here.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this Shabo Ricci isn't super strong, but you kind of expect to be able to draw into something better in the meantime.
That's better.
Kind of interesting
You
whether
can just cut the form on for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it is... The nice thing about that 6-pin is that we can set up the Suji on the 9-pin later.
You can also accept the Dora and not worry about it. Because then you can just cut your 1-4 or your 9-9 right there.
Yeah, if drawing the 9... So, actually, yeah, if drawing the 9 Mon didn't give you a
Ooh,
good
okay,
Shabo
that's
Ricci.
interesting. I don't know that I like the 6-0 cut. But this is the widest he shunted, and there's your backfire.
Yeah, I'm still pretty okay with it because I like the Suji trap weight, if we can get to Tenpai.
Well,
Each.
here's your Suji Trap weight. Enjoy.
And now we can see if anyone falls for it. 9-pin
Could she this?
Shunpai.
I'd call this.
Chi.
And Barry thinks about it, then does call.
Barry has been playing very proactively. Something like a 20...
This is a Ricci Nomi. With the 4-pin, 9-pin. 9-pin is Suji here. 5 clear, so not going to be an issue. Could call, but won't do so. Uh-oh, and that 5 draw may make this 9 come out.
A small problem for Bati. But the issue is it's kind of hard for them to get to Tenpai with the 2-so 5-so being out so many times.
Yeah, just going to try and hard fold with the 6 here, destroying the hand.
Yeah, it might actually be David that gets into trouble.
Well, now we might see the South come out, but I think the way Bati's been playing it, it's unlikely.
Yeah, and David's out too now. Too many pin tiles to get through. We'll only be playing for Itsu if possible.
We haven't even talked about it, but there's, what, 1 4-pin left? The 9s are in hands right now.
Yeah, even the 4 pins are in hand or in a call. So no tiles live in the wall. It's going to be Ryukyoku most likely, unless some miraculous shift can take place.
4 is safe here. Probably think about it for a little bit. Haku's now reasonably safe. I imagine Bati gets out of here now. Oh, well, there's your Dora. Have fun.
Oh,
It
Barry
is
can't jam this.
Kabade, but it very likely deals into a pinch on here. Thinks about it for a long time. Vince says, nope.
So at this point, the only question is whether or not Barry can draw an 8-pin or 9-pin or 7-pin.
And there it clears, but it doesn't matter because you're back into Tempai for those Tempai payments.
Just needs to get through one more
Now,
tile.
Furry 10-6-9, but will not get the last draw, so obviously can't win on it. Once already cleared, we're going to see the 2 players Tempai here. Barry and Max. You figure those 2 would fight most of this game, and they're definitely doing it.
Yeah, it's kind of insane to see the win rates across the board. Bati has 30.1% win rate, Barry 26.9, David 27.3, and Max is just chilling at 22.7. A very respectable win rate, but against these other 3, it's kind of insane.
Well, it's because Max takes a look at this and probably says the same thing I think and the same thing you think. It's Chiditsu.
I would love to see Chinitsu here.
Because it's obviously not the most efficient to go there. Well, now it might actually be, although you may end up just using the 9 as your pair, but it's definitely going for it for now. We'll see if it ends up that way. On the right, yuck. And my backup opinion, double yuck. Across the way. Bad shape from your Pinfu. Now it's 2 Dora at least, but it's still not great. And on the left, Rishi Pinfu Tanyao. Not likely to be any Dora in there, but a reasonable hand.
So there's a good chance that this force filters out of David's hand, and if it does Max call?
Max calls anything, I think, other than the 9-pin.
Yeah, definitely feels like some calls are better than others. Well, here goes that 4.
I would take it because you have a
Gee.
4-5-6 shape. Yeah, I like it.
Oh, so would have been the draw for her hand.
Yeah, you can't expect that, but it does feel bad when you look in the logs and go, oh.
All right, Max has completely eliminated the non-so on and non-so and honor tiles.
Still Ishan 10 on the left, looking for the Ricci Ipeco possible Pinfu. And now greeting from, I don't know, Rion Peiko? That's a really awkward cut.
Yeah, we're losing our pair, so maybe just not believing in Ipeco.
Yeah, definitely doesn't like the 66788. I don't like that cut at all. Especially with how many 5s are out. Because even when that was made, there were 2 5s out. That's 7. I mean, I think you have to take it. It's
Gee.
Ishan 10. It does kind of give away what you were doing.
I think that was pretty evident with the 9-pin, 9-pin after 8-5-3, 7-pin, 8-5-1, 3
Well,
7-pin.
it could be Tanyao.
I just think it's really
But if it's
unlikely.
Tanyao, you don't care that much because there's no value in it.
David
Okay, much wider Ishan 10 now.
David's like,
Can
you've
now
called a
pull in the
4
1 or
and a
2.
7, so you don't need any more tiles of that.
Well, that 3 he'd love.
And that 3 stops
Yeah, and says, yeah, that is a nope. I think cutting the 4 so is just more efficient there. Maybe trying to hide this a little bit, but I'm not sure there's a point to it.
Yeah, David's decided that he no longer needs to play against the Sozu.
There's these could be a pawn on the right, but the hand's still a bit away. Is Hatsu safe? Hatsu's 2 cut. I don't hate calling that.
Now K10's really low odds for David, so looking to the other players to make something happen. Maybe Bati with Dora.
Ooh, well, might see a Dora taunt. No, cuts the 8. Why would you cut the 8 there? Probably just hard folding. I'd love to have a route to a Tonki on Dora callable,
Yeah,
but
I don't
instead
know if
just folded hard.
Bati remembers that the 7-so is actually safe right now. Because David cleared it and Max didn't make Tadashi afterwards, right?
I wouldn't be paying in that much attention at this point either. All I know is I'm not throwing so tiles.
Yeah, well, it's over now. There's no way.
Yeah, we're going to get back. So we're going to see no untempi. And this is when everyone goes, what?
That's when David feels rewarded. Feels like he did his job, stopping at the
Well,
exact right
yeah, he
time.
passed his dealer, didn't lose anything. If you're in that situation with a big lead in South 3, that's ideal.
But here we're going to South 4, and
Home.
now the conditions are tight.
Well, now you see the call here, Ishan 10 for Barry. Just going for the one Han, but there is 1900 in the middle, which would be more value than this hand, barring some cons.
Oh, 5-mon. David's finding a route to Mongon.
Well, he's brute forcing it. Probably feels he has to with this scoreline. On the right, Pinfu hand through for Sanchiku potential. Across the way, Junchan is the play, maybe sort of backdoor Chitoi. And on the left, we have a Pei Anko, which is a Yakuhai. So I'd say Max is in a pretty good position, but obviously the open hand is the one I'd prefer.
Oh,
Tempai now, 9-mon, 5-pin Shumpon.
depending
In
on.
the awkward position where a 9-mon Sumo would be enough for more Fu, but the 5's going to come out, and there's a direct hit on first place, 2400, and the 1000 from the middle. So Barry will jump to 24-9, still a long way back, but gets a repeat as South 4, and makes David's condition a little harder, but still within Manga Sumo range.
Home.
Early Pone Max just wants to end this, make sure he confirms first place. The gap to Bati is pretty tight now. It used to be 8,000 exact. Now it's under 6,000.
Yeah, Barry's hand is bad.
Home.
Bati's hand is okay. David's hand is workable, but it needs time, and he doesn't have it because Max is just Ishan 10. With 2 Dora or Honitsu, maybe even 3 Dora. So Max definitely driver's seat here. Abe on a great draw. As Body moves this hand towards Chitoi or Ipeiko, the 2 extends the 2-4-4 shape. Of course, it could be awkward if you achieve the 3 because then everyone thinks you're just Honitsu and Sozu.
Yeah.
The problem is the other side's Dora, so it's not like that coming out.
And Bati's perfectly happy to take a positive second here. It would love a first, but if Max wins his hand and Bati gets plus 12, that's excellent.
You take those, especially at a table like this. You just don't want to be losing large ground here.
Yeah, I believe the first 2 games as well of the series, Bati got second in both of them.
Ooh, 7, so not going to cut the 2 for the slightly wider Ishan 10 with possible Toy, just locking the 7 in. Probably trying to make the 8 look safe.
Definitely. I mean, we saw previously David very much respecting the scary hand of Max, and so if he makes a So Tadashi here, and then call a So tile, could look really bad for him.
Oh, just knew the 8 was going to come anyway, so it didn't matter, but at the same time it means the disguise didn't matter either. So, 4 So, 7-pin Shumpon. 7 is Dora. There's a 4, but I imagine it doesn't come out.
Yeah, like, very least 7 So first.
Should just be East, shouldn't it? No, cuts the 8. Sakigiri's it. 3, so that Monzu shape's super wide now.
I feel like he
Potential
sometimes just cuts
3-sided
KK.
shape. The problem is may end up just cutting one of the, yeah, it cut the 7, because you didn't want to cut the 5-6 and didn't really want to cut the Dora shape either. Ooh, that's a nice
Tsumo.
fill. Just Sumo's it.
Okay, Tsumo
Ipeiko
Ipeiko.
Sumo deserved not to get first for not taking Ricci on Sanzo.
Oh well for Bati, but you know what? He didn't deal into a Mungon, which there was the potential for that with Max's hand. Falls 600 points short of the first place, so Max will go up plus 27.4, Bati plus 16.8, increasing the lead in first place. Barry's gonna get the third here, minus 11.8, and David's gonna take the minus 32.4 in fourth place.
Yeah, and I'm thinking if that Ricci would have been in there, Botsi would have gotten that first. And I don't know if you can really punch your ticket at that point, but you feel a lot better if you can get the extra, 15 points from that Ricci?
Yeah, for sure. Looks like standings are slow to update, but it will be Max moving up to 128.6 and David falling below. So placements being exchanged. Max up to fourth place.
Now, we will have at least one more game here for this table because, as mentioned, this is we think this is the closest thing to a championship match until we get to the snake round, which will be coming up fairly soon.
Yeah, they are underway for the final game, so in a moment we'll be able to pull that up for you. But yeah, again, as mentioned, when this series started, it was 1, 2, 3, and 6.
Yeah, this ended up being the highlight for A1. There was supposed to be a huge A2 table, and then a couple of people kind of fell down. It was still an intense table. But here we are. We're ready for the final game of this series. And oh, that just Ishanten, that just Tempai. Do you ever cut 9-1?
Well, I
Oh,
guess
no,
not.
you just Ricci and Hitipatsu. I guess that works.
No, you're
No
not.
aura, but still, nice little 3,900. David picks up where he missed a bunch last game. Just taking those just aggressive plays, says, I can win. And Barry says, here, have the win.
Yeah, we've seen
But
Barry dealing a lot more frequently in this series, but they're to weird hands like that third turn Ricci.
and those third turn Ricci, even you're defending, it's like, I don't have any info on the pod. What am I supposed to do? You'll often see a Ipatsu on those. In fact, a lot of the time, it's going to be either an Ipatsu deal in, or you'll get nothing from anyone the whole hand.
Yeah, I've definitely seen
Because
Dave.
as long as they have information, then they can dodge, especially at A1 quality.
Now, David's run up the score a bunch of times in A1, and it's usually with big Ricci wins, just games where he gets to Tempai, slams a Ricci, and then hits the Tsumo. In this case, Ipatsu Ron.
Mine, I'll definitely take the Ipatsu. Interesting, the 1-mon was cut. Does not hedge 1 through Sanshoku. Really likes his shape in the Pinzu with the door, the 5557. Understandable. On the right, kind of a Pinfu hand, but yuck. So many bad shapes. 3-mon really helps the hand. Still like that. 3-pin would help. 5-7 so. Across the way, calling, just trying to get this hand over with. Bati doesn't have much to work with. On the left, Max looking for the Tanya here. The problem is the 8-9 makes that really hard. So it may end up being Rishinomi, hoping to draw a door towards the Sanshiku.
And David just there had a Tempai waiting on the 5-mon,
Well,
said no.
okay, just take your Pinfu. Gets the 7-mon Penchon draw. Richi Pinfu.
And now I feel like David's pretty happy to not have taken that Ricci cutting the Dora.
Close, but that's not it. Needs the 2-5 so.
One so, I'm sure. And David
This
wants
is
to take this
still
fight.
very wide Ishan 10 for David. Kutsuki or double floater.
Yeah, a little bit worried about that 4-mon Fury Tempai.
Oh, we're going to see a Chi and a Tempai now on 2-5 Mon. So 2-5 Mon versus 2-5 So.
Definitely
Already
bought.
see the 9 come out. Barry's fighting with 3 Dora. Makes sense to me. Oh, that's an annoying draw. Just throws. Oh, there's a 2. That's the end of this. I don't see how you get away from this. And Bati will not. Will deal in. Richi Fu. No aura, so you're not that sad with the 2300 deal in there.
Pretty tame in the early going, just like the last game, but we saw things get drastically changed in the middle stages of the game.
I was gonna look at these, but that hand on the right is getting my attention, and it's good, but it's not as good as it looked initially. So back to the dealer hand. Few pairs here. Could pawn, could go toy toy, could go cheat toy, could go just regular hand with this. On the right, though, it's definitely Honitsu. Planning for the East call, maybe a Dora pair up would be nice. Possible toy toy. Tons of potential, but needs a lot of work. Now dealer Ishunten for cheat toy. Across the way, Chun pair. The problem is those are now locked in Barry's hands, unlikely to come out. Left 5 so at least moves the hand a little bit forward. On the left, Dora pair up, so would love to just be able to call and go. May end up having to go Itsu Dora 2.
3-3-3, a bit unfortunate for David, but as you were talking, Max paired up the Chun, Barry paired up the Chun, and David paired up the Dora, so all these Yakuhai tiles coming into hand in the early portion of the game.
6-pin. Well, it doesn't. You can pawn it if you really want, but I don't like it. Yeah, it passes.
This looks so suspicious. 3-mon, 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 9-mon, 7-mon.
Oh, Ishunten on the right throws the door. Gets pawned. Ooh, interesting option for Barry. Could even go Haku Haku here if you're really scared.
I'm not sure that he's scared yet. A 4-pin.
That is not Tempai. He
Boom.
wants to pawn one of these 9 east or west. Gets another chance on the 4. Now knows the 4 is pretty dead. There's the west. That would be Tempai for Bati. We'll go ahead and see it come out, and you have to take the Tempai there. So we'll be 40 Fu on either side. Oh, that's Tempai, but going to BLN. It's the cheap end, but 2600 still not that bad.
Yeah, the surprise is the 9-pin being more dangerous than the other side, 6-pin.
Does happen, especially in hand where people pawn a lot. Well, Bot's going to be dealer here. Possible 789 Sanju, possible Itsu. This is another one of those hands you look at and go, I'm not sure what it is. There are about 6 different routes. So give me a useful tile and you get the south. And you go, that is not what I meant. On the right, we have an east pair. That is actually Ishan 10 for Tondora 1, probably. Across the way, we have a Pinfu type hand. Not great, though. And on the left, we have a Chun pair and a Dora. Not great there either, but I take that as an above average hand.
Dealer keeps drawing these tiles that are kind of okay, but not really that particularly helpful, so slow progress.
Yeah, we do see the Chun finally coming out getting pawned, but the hand's still slow. Dora pair up across the way will look for an easier route. The problem is that 9-mon is a 9 and not a 6. Otherwise, I just go Tanya and not think about the rest of the hand.
I'm
This
sure
is going to be really hard to pull in.
David's probably not too far off from what you're thinking. He plans to cut 1-pin 9-mon. Just hasn't
Well, not
drawn
if you
anything
keep
better.
drawing stuff like that.
Yeah.
7 pair up. There is a route for even a Chinitsu here. Maybe you need Peiko if you get the 8-pin, but
I mean, might just end up
it's
there.
not that good. We do have Tempai on the left, which feels like the best route here. Yeah, we'll cut the 9 and then probably the 7 for Tempai. Would be a reach, you know me? But then 9 so pair up doesn't do anything. It just cleared, so might as well throw it. 2-mon does nothing. Hatsu does nothing. 6 fits perfectly. That's going to be a slam. Ricci, Dora 1, possible Tone. There is 1-mon out and 1 Tone out, so 2 outs left. Could switch to Dora Tonki, will not do so.
The 3-so actually doesn't feel that bad to cut, but the Dora Tonki definitely feels tough to win on.
Well, it is in fact dead right now.
Boom.
And that is a Tanyao cut. That 5 is pawned. There's the 1 that will deal in. Not going to come out just yet. 3-so, not ideal, but does upgrade to Ishan 10. Would love a 4-so.
Yeah, that pawn's saving Barry from dealing in. Absolutely would have jammed.
3, that is an improvement question mark?
I don't know. It's a questionable improvement.
Yes.
4. Barry can't see all of these 3s. David will jam the 4. I don't know if Barry will.
There are a bunch of 2s out now, and the 4's already, the 7's already gone in the discard pile, so I'd probably push the 4.
Oh yeah, the 2s are just as 1 chance as the 3s make it, so
Yeah.
Barry does decide just to back away here.
Uh-oh.
Good thing too.
That, on the other hand, yeah, that I'm not shoving. Mainly because I think it deals into David here. I'm not really thinking Max has this, but David could easily be Otozuke here. Especially with how he's played this hand.
Yeah, definitely jamming some stuff against this Ricci, so you expect value.
You know he has something. Well, you say he has something, but the question is, does he have nothing and doesn't know how to defend? Or does he, in the situation he was actually in, going for some value? But Max will end up with a 3,000, which with a bad shape like that with 2 tiles out left is perfectly acceptable. We'll be dealer here in East 4. And dealer here has, you see the shapes, but there is 0 value unless you can shift it down to a 678 Sanshoku. On the right, Pinfu hand, but similarly not great. Across the way, maybe an Itsu. Not really thrilled. On the left, maybe a Pinfu. A whole bunch of just garbage hands. None of them are that far away from Tenpai, but there's just no value in anything here. Especially when you have an East Dora that everyone wants.
Yeah, the scary thing is you don't have it in your hand, but everyone has that same feeling because they're all on the wall.
And this is something that can happen, especially in a higher-ended play, is everyone gets scared of the tile that doesn't exist.
Right now, it doesn't exist for anybody. It's hard for players to even use it should they draw it. Like, oh, Bati says, "Yeah, I don't want it. Get this out of here."
Yeah, it just throws it. And is now East Shunten as a result.
Still floating the connection for the 567 Sanchoku. Love to see it.
Well, there's another 7. Gives up the Peiko route. Haku or Hatsu pair up across the way. Well, that's an improvement with the 1.
That decides to strengthen the current shapes rather than try to float a better one in the future.
You see the 3. Oh, and there's the backfire on the East.
In the meantime, Max had already discarded one as well, so 3 out now. East is useless.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going Kokoshi from these hands. Dealer now East Shunten. Can cut the 9. We'll go ahead and cut the 4.
2 for
Taking the
6.
Ryokan.
There's Sotile Berries
5
flush.
so. Okay, that's getting closer. Does have that extra 8 so in the hand, though. Needs a 2 so badly.
So it was nice. Had some
Oh,
flexibility.
well, now you can just cut the 1.
How has
And
Barry
we'll do
gotten here
so.
so close? I mean, if you look at the tiles that have been cut, 5, 7, 8.
Well, I mean,
Pokemon.
you look at the Tadashi list, and there's your answer. Just draw everything. One bad draw the entire hand since second row. Meanwhile, dealer now Tenpai for K10, no Yaku. On the right, we are also Tenpai for K10 or no Yaku.
I want to see Max continue to just make calls.
Well, we'll go ahead and wait on this Hatsu for now, figuring it's pretty scary against the possible hand across the way. Oh, and that 3, so that is very much a, have you practiced your Chinitsu reader recently? I don't think it helps. 4 does not deal in no Yaku. No Yaku seems to be the play here for everyone on the table except Barry. I mean, you have to just throw the 5 here. It doesn't look that bad. You see all the 4s.
Yeah, you want so hard.
3, okay. That is still not Tenpai, I don't think. Yeah, I think you cut the 8 there, and it's not Tenpai. I'm not seeing anything light up. And now the 8's clear. You can even cheat if you want to switch the last turn. Oh, there's a 7. Also, again, just doesn't deal in.
And nobody has a hand that can win except for Barry, and he's the only one not Tenpai.
Yep. Well, no, they can all win on Hote now.
That's true. Max will have the pivotal final draw.
Bulls out. There's the East. You know 2 are out, so you figure if anyone has it.
That's
Oh!
10,
We might
10.
see it!
It's
Furitan. Yeah, that's right. And that's the funniest outcome, is the Furitan denies the Hote Nomi.
What a wild hand. Everyone trying so hard to get to Tenpai, dancing around that flush. And they all get there except for the flush.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Menahold is worth a lot because it's really hard.
I like this description. A1 League, no Yaku Gaming. These players don't know how to build a Yaku.
Thanks to a raider from Yumori Fua. And we take a look here at Max, who has a kind of a... You want to go Suanko with it, but at the same time, you don't think it's really going to happen. At the same time, on the right, we have kind of very bad Pinfu hand across the way. Few pairs. Might even just brute force Tanya with 2 Dora there. Oh, and the 1 is a really annoying draw. It's one of those things where you look at it and go, yes, this improves my hand, and I hate it.
Oh, big fill for Max. Ishanten now.
Also, we have Tempai on, or Ishanten on the left, currently headless. You can pair up the 8-so or the East.
That's slightly wider. Maybe a Sanchoku in the works on the left for Bati if you draw the 6-mon.
If you get the 6-mon, then maybe you shift down and then you have to pair up the 2-3. It's possible, but I wouldn't expect it. Ishanten for Sonanko for Max. Would be interesting if he takes the choice between the Sonanko and the Good Ways.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, now we're about
Each.
to find out. I would cut the 8. Let's go.
And one so feels pretty nice here.
So this is a Richi Nomi or Richi Ipatsu. Misses out on the Sonanko, but you know what? I don't think Max cares. There's a ton of Fu here. Says, hey, you did it to someone earlier in this game. I'm doing it back to you.
Yeah, David had one chance showing 3 of the 2-sos in hand, so looked pretty safe. Doesn't one chance doesn't matter for Shabo though.
No, it doesn't. Max should be repeating here. His dealer has a Richi Tanyao Dora hand, maybe some sort of 3 or 5 Sanshiku, especially if you can pair up the 2-so. You pair up the 2-so, your eyes start getting really big really quickly. On the right, kind of a Pinfu hand, nothing fancy. Across the way, slow hand, not much value. I guess that moves that hand a lot more towards Tempai. Cut 9-pin, 9-pin, hope to shift to Tanyao. On the left, though, has the Anko of the Haku. And this very much call and go type hand. The question is, can you get Honitsu or Toy Toy from it? I feel Toy Toy is not unreasonable here. I would call that 9.
Home.
Bati will do so. Also note the 6-so is not Cheed.
Yeah, Max feels like this hand should be worth more than Tanya only, or Tanya Dora 1 even.
5. Okay, it's Toy Toy. Oh, well, that is Ishanten. I think you're supposed to get the 5. Yeah, the 5.
5-mon. This way you can use a second Dora if you draw it.
Yes, and you can accept the Dora, you can accept a 5, you can accept the 3, 5, 6 in Pinzu.
Yeah,
And that's about the only draw that makes you feel sad, is when you draw the 4 the next turn.
If you get the 3-pin, you can even just drop the Dora with confirmed soundtrack.
Tempai, possible Sonanko.
Oh my.
This is Haku, Toy Toy, Tsumo is Sonanko. On the 1-2, which there's only 1 left. The problem is Barry. Oh, well, never mind. Dealer Tempai, Richi, Dora 2, possible Tanyao. We see 4 out already. 1 in hand, so 3 in the wall.
Oh, I want Bati to draw the 9, so give us the Changkan.
Well, that'd be interesting. Would Bati con here? I think so.
Bati,
Doesn't matter. There it is. The problem is the 2 may come out because it's Suji. It is Suji the Richi, so it's not. Oh, there it goes! Richi, Dora 2. Just pushes it and will deal in for 8,600. Max gets the stick back and over 50K.
Wow, Max has been doing fantastic in these 2 games, and another brilliant high pie.
Pretty good starting in here. Richi, Pinfu, maybe Peiko, maybe a Dora, because you do the Dora floater. On the right, Pinfu hand, but ugly shapes all over. Across the way, pretty standard Pinfu, nothing fancy. And on the left, Drool.
Oh, the tunes come out
twice. I don't care, Drool. That is a pretty. Oh no, the do so.
What an unfortunate Dora Chan fill.
Yeah, you fill the Dora. Everything just looks so much cheaper here. Unless you got the 1, 4, and 5, and that's gonna be the play.
All right, 1 pin first. If you draw like 4,
interesting if. Well, I think if you go 4, so you always cut 4, 5 pin. But I think the real question, if you call East or Haku, do you cut 4, 5? No.
Starting with a tune, but
yeah, I feel this is just going to take the 3 Han, which is reasonable but boring.
You can pull an East still.
Yes, you can. Well, we'll see.
Okay, it's Manga.
Okay. And now it's like, but man, I'd really like to be on that last tune.
Right?
Hanakikanki, as if your hand is not face up at that point. Now this could be a deal-in. Oh no, cuts the Dora to take the wider shape here on a 2, 4, 5, and Bati is in deep trouble.
Oh, went from Max being in danger dealing to Bati. That's a
This is
Chanta.
Chanta. That's probably going to be thrown.
Oh.
It's Ipatsu. Does not get the Pinfu, though. Ricci Ipatsu. No aura. There have been so many Ricci Ipatsu this game from deal. I think that's 3 of them.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. For Bati, that Chanta actually didn't add any value necessarily, but the plan was always to shift to Honitsu for the Hanuman.
Well, dealer here has another pretty good starting hand. Possible 3, 4, 5 Sanshoku. Probably Tanyao. On the right, we have the South Onko. It's not double South, even though it feels like it's been that long. We're still in East round, and also picks up a Hatsu pair and has 2 Dora, so definitely a great hand across the way. Looks pretty boring. Maybe 7, 8, 9 Sanshoku. Gonna be hard to get everything together, especially when you need that 7 pin. I guess the other shapes are okay. On the left, we have the North Pawn, and that's very much a call and go type play.
Yeah,
Oh, the 6-0. So much for that hand. All the value just instantly dies.
Oh no, that one pin is so good, so we have to give up on the 3-4-5 Sanchoku chance. Can't forego the 2-pin Dora draw, but if you fill the pin shape first, you got a fantastic Ricci Pinfu with potential Dora as well.
Ishunten on the left now needs 8 pin and 5-so, and there's Tempai waiting on 5-so. Could call for Tempai, but Max has definitely not been playing that way.
Ooh, demo with another Yakuhai pair.
Could be just going for the Sonanko route here as well. Upgrade on the left, and it's just going to deal in.
Dum.
And all the nonsense that David was cooking is going to be shut down immediately with one Han. Bati says, I just want out of this hand and we'll get out.
Yeah, Barry also had a Tempai on a Penchant, declined it, and that gave the chi for Bati to become Tempai.
All right, David Dealer here. Shapes are not great. Needs a 3-mon badly. And has a floating Dora here. This is one of the hands where I go, is there a route to Tanyao? And the answer is no, but I'll make one.
Ricci.
Or maybe it was
Oh,
fold.
well, doesn't matter. Just Ricci Nomi.
Yeah, it's
At the same
almost
time,
sad.
this is the correlation here is how do you fold? Because that's one of the problems with some of my Ricci's like this. I don't know what my backup plan is because I don't know what my primary plan is.
Yeah, David in these spots never really fold. He goes 9-so, 8-so because that's pretty safe. 1-so, 2-so because that's pretty safe. And he's going to try to fight for this.
Yeah, there's not really a reason to give up on this hand. We didn't even look at the rest of the hands, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter. But it's a 4-7 weight here for Ricci Nomi. And most likely person to fight is going to be David here.
It'll be hard.
There are some routes for Barry to get back in with some very specific draws, but I don't expect it. 6 Con! You have to Con.
Chun.
Hatsu. So Chun is the new Dora. We see 3 of them out, so it is irrelevant. Second Dora here drawn by dealer.
Pull.
So this hand is worth fighting. That's a pull and go. Ishanten here for Tanyao Dora 3.
Yeah, if there's any question about whether Dave was going to fight or not, those have been answered.
Yeah, you're always going now. Uh-oh, when you throw the 9 first, it's going to be very important based on what comes.
Yeah, David really...
Because if you get Tempai, you're all... Oh, Con?
Come.
Yes!
Does.
Now, the 5 is
8-so?
Genbutsu. You can safely throw the 5. The widest shape is cutting the 8-so.
The 8-so should be pretty safe.
Long thought, right? Does get to the 8. But again, these 4 deal in. Tempai. Oh no!
Oh,
Takes the Totsu. Again, the 5 is safe. Sees the 5 Genbutsu is very important. And it's now... Even if you draw the 6, do you switch to Toy Toy Doko?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering right now.
5?
I think you do just because it's hilarious. Oh my goodness!
Oh,
Tsumo.
just Tsumo! This is not Doko!
I feel like he
I
had
swear!
to win off for that very reason.
So that is what we call an I tried for Doko but didn't get it. We'll still be very glad with the Tanyao Dora 3. Huge win there for David. Closed the gap significantly with first into a solid second place here. Has a pretty standard Pinfu hand. Needs a little bit of work, especially a 4-mon or a 4-pin would help on the right. Kind of a Pinfu hand, but really slow. Across the way, similarly slow Pinfu hand on the left. Fast hand, but no real value. That is currently Ryan Shunten, but would love to get the Tsumo for 1-2-3 Sanjiku route.
This has been fireworks in the middle portion of this game. That long East 4 into this South 1. David doesn't want to be done yet.
Yes, I tried for Doko, and all I got was this lousy Mongon.
Second 7's no good, but David's getting closer. 2 away from Tempai, especially if you can draw around this 5, so you're looking really pretty.
8-pin pair up doesn't really do much. Do you ever go Chitoy? I think I'd cut 9-so over the 9-pin. The problem is the 2 7s out make the 9-pin not that useful. So I think that's reasonable here. Ooh, do you go Chitoy here? I kind of like cutting the 5-so just because I don't know what I'm going to do with this hand. And that is the play.
It is just Ishanten. I think
This is what we call technically Shanten. That if you get Tempai, you're not thrilled with it. I want to cut 1 pin. I don't want to play this stupid hand.
Not even 2 pin first for the extra draws.
Yeah, because 2 of the 2s are out, yes. Because 2 of them are out already.
And then you have to ask yourself, are you willing to call for Tanyo? And doesn't call the 3, but draws it.
Now you just cut the 1. Yeah, you just take the super wide shape here. Especially if you get 4 pin or 7 pin, you are thrilled with this shape.
And even the 5 pin, 6 pin Shabo doesn't feel as bad because the 7 pins
well, so if you get the 5-6, do you ever go Suanko?
Ooh, no. Well, where is David in the standings?
The way this game's been played, maybe.
Maybe. Like, if David's going for the top, then absolutely. 48K? Sure. But hang on a second, Max.
Nicely. Oh, well, there's just Tempai. This is Honitsu Nomi.
And David with the Chitoy Tempai.
Well, there's your Chitoy Tempai. Do you just Dama here?
Reach.
I think that decision says, you know what? I don't think Max knows how to fold this, so I'm just going to slam. And the 6 is draw on the very first tile from Barry.
The Barry dodges one of the putts. Oh, Radora
And there's the door. You feel terrible about it. You pass. You just breathe that huge sigh of relief.
Barry gets that out of hand as quickly as possible.
Oh, there's the 1. You knew it was in the wall at some point, but you see 3 of them out at this point.
Yeah, after ongoing up to 3, Mon, you didn't really want to play for the Chitoy anyway. You just unfortunately find your way here.
Oh, could switch here to the 4-5 weight, or even the 6-so weight. If you really read the 3-6 is bad.
Gonna try to snipe the 5.
Turns out that was the way to cut the safe 5. Win on the 6 would have also been the funniest way to win this hand. Oh no, the 5.
There are still 2 6-mon in the wall. Like, David is looking.
There's a 4, so that's being pulled in.
Yeah,
there's 1 4-so, and how many?
1 5.
Oh no, there it is. The 5 is safe. 5 is safe.
Yeah, can switch, but I mean that's.
You should switch. I think you should always switch, even without a Yaku here. And yeah, it does. No. The Sixers look so bad. Now this is your question: is how much you trust it? We'll deal in anyway. Ricci, Tanyao, Chitoy. This is 96 possible 12K. Does not get it though. Will be a direct hit on first place though for 9,900. David out into a big first place now.
Yeah, up 9-8. Big Chitoy taking that challenge against a Honitsu in the Dora suit, immediately drawing Dora and getting that to clear is a big sigh of relief, and he ends up taking the pot. Can he hang on?
Gotta have some of that gamble in you. Sometimes you have to hit the button and let the game either punish you or occasionally gift you the win you feel you deserve the whole time.
Yeah, one
it doesn't usually do it, but sometimes it does.
I think with that early 8-mon followed by the 3-mon Ricci, he was trying to bait the 6-mon a little bit and thought that was good enough, especially as you mentioned with Max being open so much, having a tough time folding. And
I think if Max is 2-call, I don't think the hand's played the same way, but a 3-call, I think the Chitoy and a 6 is fine. But we haven't even talked about these hands. They with a Ricci, maybe Pinfu, Ipeco, Dora 2. It's maybe just Ipeco. You can also accept Dora on the other. And then the right is maybe Honitsu in Pinzu. Across the way, it's a sad Toy, maybe a Chitoy. And on the left, by far the best hand here, it's just Kutsuki Ishanten. Want something connect to Dora, we'll just slam this. That 8-mon ever does not connect to Dora.
David has somehow found another Chitoy Ishanten.
Haku's pretty useless. The 6 doesn't feel good after you've cut the 7, but it's useless now. Yes, it is Chito Ishan 10, but it's going to be in the expensive suit. Now, you always cut the East there, yes. Now you have the 2-pin, 5-pin floater, so will be a good weight, unless you somehow draw the 5-pin or the 5-mon.
Yeah, and even if you draw the 5-man, at least you're in Doratonki, so.
Okay, switch it to the Sozu shape. Figuring upper Sozu are probably reasonably good, and they would be if David didn't have the 7-7-8-8. Immediate punish.
Yeah, trying to force the Dora and still have a good shape in the Sozu, but does get punished. David wants this one Montanki so badly.
Let me see the Hatsu pair up on the right, moving his hand a little bit forward.
Each.
Oh, well, there's your 3-sided. That's what Max wanted this whole time. Ricci, Pinfu, Dora, possible Tanyao, 3-sided, 1-4-7, and there are 2 7s. What, 1-4 left and 1 pin?
Barry considers the call here. Does have some outs, but lets it go. Dodges the deal in as a result.
It's 2 so, that's not it. It does move the hand forward, but I think David is getting out of here.
Okay, does say it's worth it.
He's now Tenpai on the... Oh, doesn't matter. There's your Sumo on the extended bend. Ricci, Subo, Pinfu, Tanya, Dora 1. And Ora is Hanemon. And there it is.
Ooh.
Max says, give me those points back.
Wow, lead exchanging hands once again, and another Sparkly Dragon hand.
Ooh, is there a Daisangan on the way? The dealer's hand isn't bad. It's kind of regular Pinfu, maybe Nipeiko on the right. Whole bunch of So tiles, maybe Honitsu even across the way, though. That is the pretty hand. That's going to be a Haku Pon. Might even see a Suiso if you can get another honor pair up. But you just go for the Daisangan and see what happens. We'll float the door as well for now. On the left, you have a Pinfu hand, nice shapes in Manzu, but the rest of the blocks aren't great, especially the 6-9 in 2 suits. One of those being a 4-6-9, slightly better, but not ideal.
This is the second time we've seen Dragon Pair, Dragon Pair, Dragon Singleton, and East Pair in hand.
Well, just fill it in with the 5, so I guess that works. Across the way, now Ishunten fills the Sozu shape.
And easy to go to the front.
And yeah, just going Honitsu
Ricci.
says, forget this. But in the meantime, we have a Ricci Pinfu Dora 1 5-8 pin.
Oh, and Max went inside out.
Max is in big trouble here. Might be able to get away with the Hatsu.
Barry jamming 7 Sony Patsu turn, so that is a Genbu for Max.
Could go headless, but yeah, I like the 8. Just shove here if you're doing this. Well, yeah. When you draw that, you have to just go for it.
Yeah, and this is going to go right back. Ricci Pinfudora, no Uda. So David
Game's going to be very close, but I believe Max still in first and is by 1,200. We're in South 3 now. Those two have been headbutting the entire time, just fighting. Bati going to be dealer here. Nice little Ricci Pinfu, Ipeiko, maybe a Dora. On the right of a South pair up. That is a double South with a Dora. I imagine Max just call and go. Across the way, I might see a Con. But David going to hold on to it for now, mainly because the rest of the shapes are terrible. And on the left, Barry might go Honitsu. We'll kind of hedge everything here with the really nice So shape. 3, 4, 5, 5, 7, 7, 8.
Oh, we're getting close to some type of flush for David. And if he draws a connector, the 6 or 5-mon, he might just take the con at that point. But he doesn't want to give Bati or Barry a way back into this game. If Max was his hand, okay, he was first anyway, but
6-0, really big draw there for Barry. Might even go Honitsu, but the problem is with where the scores are, might just want to have to go for close Honitsu or even Chinitsu. But we'll go ahead and call this.
Ooh. Back-to-back calls, puts the 5-pin nicely into Bati's hand. Ipeiko Pinfu, Yamadam, Ishanten with potential door acceptance as well.
Not going to complain about that draw, too. That should be a call. I think I'm going Chinitsu with this. I don't want to mess around. I want value. And the thing is, it would likely be either a Doric later or even a Tanya Chinitsu, which would be Hanemon. But you have to get there first. And interestingly, this is also Chi-Toy for Bati, Ishanten. 5, and you have to... Ooh, interesting. You could Chi this, but I would pawn it, take my Tenpai, and then not plan on winning it. because I want to go Chinatsu with
リー
this.
チ
Oh, okay. Ricci, Peiko, possible Dora 1, and now if the winning tile comes out, you just take it.
Well, that's a winner,
Speaking
but
of winning tiles, but I don't think that's coming out just yet. 5 isn't great, but you see a bunch of 4s. The 2 already came out. Well, yeah, just kind of give it up. There's a Tanya route in this hand. The
Mega
problem is a lot of
Kiriten.
the upgrades are Furry 10.
I mean, this is the route to Chinatsu
Con!
again.
There's a con.
Tuso.
Tuso's the new Dora. This guarantees Mongon minimum for dealer. Also gives 2 Dora on the left for Barry. Back going to fight this. If you get Tempai, you absolutely throw the 5 Mon.
Oh, that's a
there it is.
Tenpai.
Tempai on the same weight. 1 Forso.
All the
Then it would
four so
actually be
out.
Tanyao on the left if you get the 4, but we say that's out, so we're looking for the 1, so there are 2 of those left.
And that's a Dora.
Yes, it is also a Dora, so that's Baimon on the left and Mongon minimum.
Yeah, pending the Ura.
Well, it'd have to be Sumo, so Ricci, Sumo, Ipeiko, Dora 2.
Yeah, big chances. And now David might just need to go 9 pin, 9 pin, 9 pin, 9 pin. Max draws.
Well, the other 2 are just out. The question is, where is it?
Yeah,
2 more draws for each.
Barry might as well have auto discard on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You're throwing nothing else. The only thing you might even consider is you pair up a Tuso, but I think you'd even throw a Tuso here.
Barry doesn't get it. Botti doesn't either.
Womp womp.
They look at each other's hands, a nod of acknowledgement, and we roll again.
All that for Tempai payments. But Bachi has a pretty good starting hand here. A Dora, kind of a Pinfu hand. Maybe able to shift this up to a Tanya with a 4-so draw on the right. Pinfu hand, maybe a Tanya. Nice little Dora with a 4-5. Across the way, maybe a Pinfu or a Chanta hand. It's not pretty, though. And on the left, Pinfu hand, fairly close. 6-so would really help, though. Not too much value, though.
Slow progress. All the owners gone for Botti. Similarly, David across the table. Rough hand. We might have to play as a Chanta, but it looks like he's playing like Kokushi. Kokushi into fold. It's so rough. Honitsu?
Well, also just says I'm not winning this unless there's either value or I just call myself into it. So I think this is reasonable. This is a Honitsu Kokushi hedge. You don't know which one you're going to do, but you know it's not worth winning if you don't get one of
looks
them.
like a flush now.
And now says it's Honitsu. Fine, we can go Honitsu Endora suit, maybe a toy pickup later. That seems perfectly acceptable, especially if you get a West pair up.
In the meantime, Max on the right doing acceptably, and Barry on the left also in a fine spot. The problem is Barry needs
6-so is the big tile there's needed there on the left. Now Ishunten. Interesting that 3-so is cut instead of the 5-pin. I like holding the 3 for possibly Peiko, but then the third 1-so comes out, so it looks a lot better now. I would always cut 5, and there it goes. 6 is such a good tile. You get a 5 or a 7, and you figure they're probably decent in the wall. Let's say that there's one of those 7s will be taken, and now Tempai on the right for Tiny Door 1.
And if Barry gets the draw towards the door that he needs, he will deal on the 6-0.
Champagne could pull this. I'd definitely call this. You're not winning this hand without calling.
Yeah, the race is on. Oh, Anko draw.
Anko up on the pay.
I don't know if David has enough time to get there, but... Oh, 6.
We'll just deal it on the 6. That's a sucky Giri, and you're like, oh, wait, it deals in? That wasn't the plan, but okay.
Yeah, play for Itsu, strong.
Yeah, it was an Itsu, but it also kind of sucky geared. I feel there was more value elsewhere. Regardless, though, we are in all last. Dealer is definitely going Chitoi. It's Ishan 10.
Wow, almost double reach.
I mean, there are Rion Peiko routes. Say a 2-pin and a 3-so draw.
Yeah, no
On the right, Honitsu with a callable Chun. You do have that Dora, though, so maybe you don't end up cutting the Pinzu shape. I think you have to call that, though. And yeah, immediately throws the Dora. Says, forget this. Across the way, Pinfu, probably one Dora because of the 6, 7, 8. The question, can you get Tanya from it? You will likely end up cutting that 9. The problem is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you draw the 4 or the 7. Can't really go there. On the left, though, going for the Sun Anko route, there's not really any other value. Dealer Tempai for Chitoi. I think you Dama here. Yeah, we'll just Dama. 6 is a terrible weight. So we'll look for an upgrade first. Okay, hand on the left's now Chi Toy.
Oh, that's not a cheat toy tile.
Well, it's a, do you really not want to play for Suanko? And the answer is no, I don't want to play for Suanko. Go away.
David's still looking for flesh tiles. How about Haku?
That's good
Yeet!
enough. Once cut Haku is perfectly acceptable here. Richi Chi Toy for Max.
Ooh, 1 pin, 2 pin for Barry. He's got
Yeah,
P
there
for
are
at
routes
least.
back into this for Richi Pinfudor 1. There's a Dora. Now see 2 of them out.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's the Haku. Got a deal in.
Oh, Barry
Richi Chi Toy.
had no fortune this game. Ah!
No Ura, so Barry will stay in the positives, but down at 700. Remember, we do not have busting in Armal, and you can go into the negatives with the Ricci stick, so you're not denied from the Ricci ability here. So Barry can still fight this, but it's a long way to go. Max's dealer here. Nice little draw there at the 7, so maybe a 678 Sanshoku route in here. Also possible Itsu. On the right, we have a Haku pair up, and now you're wondering, can I really get first? The answer is you need Mongons. This is going to be really hard with this hand. I think I just call and take my 1 Han. Across the way, it's a Pinfu hand, but it's not a pretty one. 3 so would really help, but there's just not any value in it. On the left, the 1 pin like that, or the 4 pin really help that for Richi Pinfu. Possibly pick up with 2 1 pin out and 1 in the hand. Unlikely to get the last one there.
Yeah, I'm looking at David's hand and trying to figure out what he's going to cut here. 9 mon, 6 mon, with chances to work back towards Ipeko if he draws the 7 mon. Might even end up cutting Haku in the future for Pinfu. Like here, 1 mon first, or 1 so first, and then Haku to come later.
All right, well, there's the 6 so pulls into Max's hand. The problem is you have all these floaters. You're not quite sure what to do. Well, we'll go ahead and cut them for now. There is even a Chinitsu route, but it's really unlikely.
Yeah.
Especially given with what Max's goals for this game are.
Really, Max wants as many points as
Wants
possible.
to run up the score. Max is a long way back in the standings, and even if you get a first here, the problem is you don't have that many games left. The good news is Barry's going to drop a bunch. Bocce's going to drop some, so you will close the gap if it ends like this. I said I wouldn't necessarily go Chinitsu, but that draw might have tempted me. Not going to tempt Max, though.
Yeah, maybe
Once the Peiko acceptance here,
you could try.
a 5 so would be Tempai, but an 8 so would be an ideal draw. The problem is the 8 so is down to 1 left.
David still hasn't made improvements. That door was a big draw, but stuck here on Dianshanten.
Well, we have Rion Peiko on the left. Oh. Well, that's 3 Dora. I guess you don't care about Rion Peiko if you can get that.
If you draw 4 mon, though, you're definitely taking a look. 1 pin out.
Oh,
twice,
yeah. But at the same time, you figure that last one is very likely in the wall, which we know it is. Oh. That is Tempai. You can cut the 4 or the 3. We'll Dama here. I hate this Dama.
This is a Suanko
This is an
play.
I want Suanko. Yeah, I agree.
Botti's going for it all. David hanging on to that 4 pin means he's... Oh my goodness!
There's Tempai. Gets the Suanko Tempai. There are a ton of these in the wall, too. 1 of each. 1 2 pin, 1 3 pin.
No, there's no way.
There's no way that pays off. Tempai across the way.
It's bad.
We'll Dama here on the Gimbutsu too, but it's also Furiten, so cannot win on it. 1 2 pin, 1 3 pin.
That's Tempai. We're going to see a chase from David. It's Mongon Tempai.
2 pin, 5 pin. We see all those 5s eaten up in 2 of the 2s. So that's what, 1 2 1 5 left. So it's 2 versus 2 if I'm reading this correctly.
Max plays for K10. Did draw the Ipeiko, but it's Itsu. Itsu on the 1 so. There's only 1 left.
There's the 4. Does not deal in. No Yaku.
2 5 1 versus 2 versus 2 versus 1, and the Suanko.
The right suit, but that's not it. Can cut the 9 here if you prefer. We'll do so.
Botti, only 1 draw.
One last chance. No.
Oh, the 5.
Oh, and the 5 comes.
If this deals in directly, that's a placement
and
change.
yeah, says, you know what? It's fine. Oh, there's the 2. Any cheese would have caused the Suanko. And Max is going to look at that log and breathe a gigantic sigh of relief that not a second chi was taken, and will be glad to donate 3,000 to take this win.
Oh my goodness, what a finish. Dode's 3,000 points, but that's good enough. That's a plus 38.3.
Yeah, that'll put Max right up in the leadership race. David, though, gets a pretty good result here at plus 20. Bati takes a minus 15, going to drop a bit, and Barry takes a big hit here, minus 43.3.
Yeah, it's still going to put him in the top four, I think, but definitely, definitely a big hit to the chances of surpassing Bati.
Yeah, now Bati in first place, pretty big gap, but then a big scrum between Max, Barry, David, Matthew, and some Nathaniel guy.
Yeah, no chance for that dude. But one, two, four, and five at the end of the day, incredible.
Crazy, and oh, we missed so many firework potentials in this game. There were what, three different Daisongan chances that didn't come together, and then we get the Suwanko Tempai.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Recapping this series, it was Bati in the lead, about 200. Barry right behind at he was at, let's see, Barry was 180, or maybe Barry's at 200, Bati at 215, and Max was in the lower, like, second quarter of the division, somewhere in the 6 to 10 range, and Max comes out way on top. I think he picked up the most points out of this entire group to jump up to plus 164 and second place overall. So Max will be challenging for the top of the division. We've seen, historically speaking, Max storm back in the final series, the final game, and put himself in the top of the league. Although he also got chased down, I believe, by Aaron last season.
And we haven't talked about this much, but you don't have to win the league. You can get into the final qualification for the year tournament with points. You see those numbers to the left of their ranks. If they were to end here, those are the points they would get. Each seasonal champion gets an invite, but also the top 4 point accumulations over the course of the year will also get an invite. So you're not just playing for first anymore. It's not a pure high roll the way it has been in the last few seasons.
And this
There
is where
comes the start of Armel. This is something that's been a constant complaint from A1 players, especially that 3, 8, 13, 18 game feels so meaningless for everyone. Not this season.
and this is where things get a little wonky because each of the division winners gets an automatic seat, and the four highest scorers get in. But if you recall, Bati won the first season this year. If Bati wins again, there will only be three champions that are getting a seat because Bati's already won two of them, and the next
I
5 point
think
earners get in.
I think are you sure? I
I am
thought
sure
that second
I've
place.
confirmed with the with Edwin about this. So it is,
Bati playing gatekeeper then.
yeah. Now, norm and historically, it's got the seat has gone to the second place, um, but the
But
champion
that
is
was because we
still the
didn't really have
person who gets the most
tiebreakers,
points.
whereas now we have those points as another metric for accumulating your way in. On the other side, we haven't talked about the demotion race much because, of course, it's been a championship match. But you're seeing some people is absolutely falling out. Even Garth had a pretty bad session, a little bit of a gap. But you see Zalong, Amy, Dylan, Steve, Kaz, and Jonathan. No one is out, but everyone down there is sweating because that gap, especially between Garth and Jay and Garth and Zalong, is pretty big.
Yeah, this is one of the most polarized A1 divisions that I have seen in a long time, with so many players accumulating over 100 points that there are a bunch of players that are now below 100 points with one session to go. That will ease up, I'm sure, in the final round, as those players fight to get their way out of the relegation zone. But it's going to be a battle for sure on both ends.
All right, then. I think it is about time to wrap this up, unless we have some other games planned, which I don't think we do.
No, it was just a special broadcast of this series. This was too good to pass up. We couldn't possibly miss all these players up at the top division fighting each other, and still ending up at the top of the division. I think, Max, congratulations on the big climb into second place. But huge shout out to Bati. On this table, not only did he defend the lead at the top, but Bati also managed to pick up some points too. And so preserving the advantage, even increasing it slightly going into the final session. And that will be dramatic as we determine who our champion for the spring session will be.
Yeah, Batsuko with that 1/4 for the season, been doing very well. Ridiculous Rentai rate. Hasn't won as many games, but just 9 seconds. Just not giving up points. Hard to steal them for Batsy here. But with all that, this is when we plug our socials at American Ricci on Twitter, AmericanRicci.org. You want to sign up for the new season? It is this weekend. I believe the 9th is the final day to sign up if you want to be in for summer. And we will be starting the new summer season late this month. Uh, Also, be aware WRC is coming up. So if you are planning on scheduling games for next season, factor that in.
Yeah, I'll be scheduling my games from Japan, so it's going to be a little bit challenging, but I'm sure we'll find a way to make it happen. And admin and staff will be on point, making sure everything's happening well. Huge shout of appreciation to everybody who helps with that.
All right, then. Unless there's anything else, I think we'll just call it here. Thanks, Nathaniel, for running the stream and the commentary. This is Korak for the American Ricci Mahjong League. Hoping you have a good evening, morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are.
Yep, catch you next week for our regular Wednesday broadcast in session 6.